And I'm pleased to have with me in this segment a guest, a longtime friend, coach, Pat White, who is the athletic director at St. John's. Welcome, Pat.
Well, thank you very much for having me today.
And, you know, we're lucky to have nearly 2,300 members in the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce with our partner affiliates. And when we look at the Central Mass economy, healthcare is the biggest employer, but higher ed and education is the second, and it's a big part of how and why the region is growing. St. John's plays a significant role in that regard, and for somebody who might be new to the area, maybe you can talk a little bit about what St. John's High School is all about.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've just started my 40th year at St. John's. It's been a blessing to be there, 40 years in education. But we take in over 70 towns and cities now at St. John's, and from all the way from Central Mass to the border of New Hampshire, we have some kids come in, and actually Thompson, Connecticut, they come up there. So we take a whole realm of student athletes that come into St. John's, and it is a big factor. It is a big factor.
And one of the things that makes the school so attractive to young men, you know, from across this broad region, athletics, and we want to get into the specifics because you've overseen some great hires in terms of coaches, some successful programs, significant investment in facilities, but there's a whole range of programs for kids, whether they're athletes or not, that St. John's offer after school, great academic reputation.
Yes.
But specifically, your charge is athletics, and some great success over the last few years and some notable achievements.
Yes, we have. First with the facilities, you know, when I first started back in the late 70s, there wasn't much done to that. We just played on the same field that you played on, matter of fact. A few holes in that field back then, kind of like a cow pasture. But so we put in 2 turf fields this year, brand new baseball field about 7 years ago. So our facilities finally been upgraded within the last 40 years. You know, they haven't been touched, so we're blessed with that.
Yeah, and the turf, in addition to that, something that people have talked about for years, this past year was opened up against Leominster with lights. So night games are now part of the mix for St. John's as they host teams or even renting out the facility.
Yes, yeah. Matter of fact, we have the Boston Bolts rent our facility as we speak. The baseball field's rented all summer with AAU tournaments. But and don't get me wrong, I'm a natural grass guy, and I'd play on it. I love the smell of it. I'll roll in it. But New England needs turf. I mean, our winters are so bad now. You know, you have a short fall and spring snow comes in. So New England, you need turf to maximize your kids' ability to play sports.
And part of that is because of a growing demand of sports. I mean, when I was at St. John's back graduating in '86, lacrosse wasn't even around here, and that is a sport. And why don't you talk about the range of programs that St. John's offers athletically? Yeah,
we have 7 to 8 sports in the fall, the winter, and the spring. But you're right, lacrosse has been added, and that's booming right now. It's actually affecting baseball in a little bit. A lot of guys are jumping over to that, but
that's across the board. That's not just at St. John's. That's everywhere.
Across the country. Across the country. But that's okay. It gives you another activity to do, another facility to have. And it just opens up more doors for kids.
Right. We mentioned the lights at the field and the baseball field. I just want to go back to that. So one of the ways that the Chamber and our sister organization, Discover Central Mass, works with St. John's is during the summer and when it's not being used by the students is to try to bring tournaments and events into the region which support our hotels and restaurants. Baseball field has been in demand and really successful.
Right. I could probably rent the baseball field out every single day in the summer, but you got to let it breathe every now and then. So we maximize that. And like I said, this is our first year with turf, so we have a multitude of lacrosse teams that want to come in, have some tournaments. Like I said, the Boston Bolts soccer has it right now. They have a number of tournaments, plus they're going to practice there during lacrosse season. Every Monday and Wednesday, they're going to come in. So we will maximize that facility, and we're going to hopefully put a shovel in the ground and build a little facility down there with locker rooms. And
a little bit of a field house.
Pretty much, a smaller one.
Yeah. So the long track up and down from, well, not that long, but you know, it seemed like an after practice when you're walking uphill. The other thing which happened, there's the St. John's gym, but there's been a lot of improvements and investment into that, and given some of the great coaching tradition on the basketball level, and I want to make sure we don't forget a recent thing that we were part of, Coaches Pavilion, and the improvements made to the not only the the gym, basketball gym, which is
Right.
used for other things, but first-class weight room and some other things that the school's added.
Yes, yeah. You know, we did the gym over probably around 10 years ago. I just gutted it all, did it all over. We also built brand new tennis courts up in the back. The MIA uses that for the state championship every year because the facility is so beautiful. And we have some intramural fields in the back as well. So, you know, we have some nice things in the back.
And coaches pavilion. I'm going to go basketball coaches. Bob Devlin, Charlie Bebo,
Joe Lane.
Joe Lane, obviously the
Yeah.
legendary Joe Lane,
Yeah.
a player, coach, teacher,
My mentor.
director of development, and he taught you well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Guidance and direction.
A teenage boy is in dire need of
Guidance and direction.
Yes.
But Coach Bob Foley, just a significant milestone, not only for St. John's, but basketball coaching in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Bob's been coaching over 50 years, and as of last week, he just surpassed Bob Devlin, who coached 57 seasons, 3 different sports, to 704 wins. Bobby just surpassed that at 705 last week, coaching one sport.
Basketball.
Basketball. He's not only the winningest coach in St. John's history, he's the winningest coach in Massachusetts and the winningest coach in New England.
Yeah.
Over 917 wins.
Right, and most of his career in the coaching has been at St. John's, but some of that was also, I believe...
He started at Uxbridge for a couple of years,
Yep.
did his stint at his alma mater, St. Peter's.
St. Peter's,
St.
right,
Peter's,
right.
yep. And then left and came over to St. John's in 1980.
Right, and
And
played
played ever
basketball
since.
locally at Holy Cross.
Yes, yeah.
Right. You mentioned kind of the field house and some of the athletic programs. Is there anything next on the horizon in terms of sports or how you're kind of continue to try to improve programs, facilities?
Yeah, we always try to improve that. Like I said, we hope to put a shovel in the ground to start that facility down below near the football field. And when that's done, there's some improvements that have to be done in the weight room facility up there. And down the road, I don't know if I'll see that, but you could see a field house up in the back.
Right.
Where the old tennis courts used to be when you were a student there.
Right, right.
Up there, multi-purpose.
Right, and so I probably should have said at the beginning as a disclaimer, as an alum and football player and having the privilege to play for you for a couple of years, I want to, this is probably not the most objective interview, but congratulations to you. You mentioned the 40-year milestone, but many of us still can't believe it, but you're actually have announced your retirement. But I can't imagine you just sitting at home.
No,
with the clicker.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I am going to retire as the athletic director after 40 years. That was the plan. 40 years was the plan. Turned 62, but I would still like to share my talents with the young men of St. John's. Still try to make a difference in a young man's life.
And you're coaching in addition to athletic.
Yeah, I was the freshman football coach.
Yeah,
I've been coaching football for 40 years. I did it 17 years in college, but the rest at St. John's with 1 year at Shepherd Hill, which was a fantastic year. But no, coaching freshman football has been a blast. It really has.
Well, we're glad as an alum you're staying involved, but great things for St. John's mean good things for the region, and thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for everything you do for us too, Tim. Thank you.